Speaker McClinton, good to see you again. Thank you for being with us. I met so many people who talked about the fact that they were going out to vote, not in the traditional way that people talk about the fact that it's election day and I'm going to vote, but because they felt like they were participating in democracy in a way that they have not felt, say, 10 years ago or 15 years ago. People went out and voted in Pennsylvania, in particular for a judicial election, just not something people talk about all that much, because they felt that they were doing it for their rights and for democracy.
That's right, Ali, and it's good to be back tonight. Here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, voters made it very clear that they do not want the cynicism and they do not want our rights to be rolled back in any way. So they went with intentionality and purpose to ensure that Justice-elect Dan McCaffrey won that race. And it was very clear because his opponent was not talking about the 2020 election and the alleged fraud that occurred with voters. His opponent was not clear on where she stood on women's rights to have reproductive health. However, it was very clear that we recognize our state Supreme Court makes all of the very important decisions to double down on our rights and our freedoms here in PA.
Yeah, and look, a lot of ink goes to Michigan and Georgia and Arizona because of all the shenanigans that were going on. But Pennsylvania was right in the midst of it. And the midterm election sort of showed, that even a lot of Republicans in Pennsylvania came out and supported Democratic candidates because they said we can't be associated with this anti-democracy message that Republicans are involved in places like Pennsylvania. How do you think this bodes for next year and what Democrats need to be thinking about in terms of preserving democracy?
Well, it shows us one thing, and first and foremost, that voters are paying attention. We were able to kind of cruise control for a lot of odd year elections where there were municipal decisions being made, district attorney, mayor, and of course, our courts here in PA. But since the United States Supreme Court rolled back the rights of women, almost 50 years of protections, Pennsylvania voters are standing up. The only reason why I became the first woman speaker in Pennsylvania's House history, why I have the gavel, why Democrats have a one-seat majority in our chamber is because we recognize that just last year, Republicans, when they controlled the House, they were trying to push a constitutional amendment, get this, to ban abortion and require a very restrictive voter ID here in our state.
Let me ask you about that, because state after state, support for abortion rights outweighs opponents of abortion rights. But more people are supporting abortion rights in votes like the one you talked about in Pennsylvania, in votes like what we saw on Tuesday, in these referenda, no matter who puts them forward. This seems to be a fight in defense of rights in democracy, as opposed to just a fight about abortion.
That's right, because the question is what right is next. In 2020, we saw how Pennsylvania was, in fact, a part of ground zero for our former president, his claims that there was election fraud. He said something like bad things were going to happen in Philadelphia, when in fact, Philadelphians came out in record numbers to defeat him electorally. So we recognize that not only are our rights to health care, I always say when I go to the doctor, there's only room for me. There are not 253 seats. I can't take the chamber with me, the Senate and the House. But not only that, our right to vote. We want to make sure that we don't have any conspiracy theorists, people promoting the big lie on the highest court of our land, because our former president also went through almost every court trying to be able to undo the outcome of Pennsylvania's voters.